Howdy, hey, everybody! Welcome back to OtakuCast. I'm your host, Angel's Calamity. Thanks for joining us today. I have a small YouTube channel. Look me up, Angel's Calamity. I also have a Facebook and Instagram. Do gaming videos and all that fun stuff. Have a good time. This is my co-host.
Hey, I'm
Directionally
Directionally
Challenged.
Challenged. How are you guys doing today? I have a YouTube channel, Directionally Challenged. Uh, we are probably going to be welcoming our guest from last week back. Technical difficulties, just in case.
Let's
Want
knock
to
on
make
wood.
sure.
Don't you curse us with that. We
I
need
just want to make
good
sure
times.
that technical difficulties is introduced because last time they got all upset
We gotta
and
pay
it started
proper
it
homage.
started like butting in all the time. So we got to pay proper homage to our guest.
You're not
and
wrong.
and I would also like to welcome the Void, just as a precaution.
I have my Hollow Ichigo shirt to introduce,
Yeah,
and a good
Halloween
friend of mine did my face today, so that's awesome. I do like
Kikomon
your
ramen.
I do like your soy sauce shirt over there.
It's ramen. Look, it's ramen.
I mean, it says soy sauce though. Like
It says
I think
Kikomon.
Kikkoman soy sauce.
They also make teriyaki.
Okay,
Yeah,
take
I
your word
know.
for it. I'll take your word for it.
I know what Kikomon do.
So, what
Kikomon's
kind of interesting news do we have this week, DC?
All right. So, first off, I would like to talk about Hiro Mishima's Eden Zero manga is getting an anime. If you guys don't know, Hiro Mishima is the creator of Fairy Tail and Fairy Tail The 100-Year Mission. His newest manga is Eden Zero. Eden Zero follows a very interesting character with the ability to manipulate gravity on an adventure with pretty much a Twitch streamer who's trying to get the most views, and they have weird, wacky space adventures through time. It is very difficult to describe, but it's finally getting an anime adaptation. If you liked Fairy Tail, you will really like Eden Zero.
And I am a big fan of Fairy Tail, and from the what I was looking at, it does seem pretty interesting. And
Yeah,
he pretty much said, just stay tuned for further updates. So that's pretty awesome.
I like I said, if you really liked Fairy Tail, check out Eden Zero. You will like it. And or if you just love space, I love space, dude. Space is like my jam.
That is that.
I
Yeah,
mean,
space.
if you guys know me
Space.
by now, you know I freaking love mechs. So of course I love
So
space.
beautiful. All
It is, dude.
right.
Space. I love space. I love the ocean. Not many people do, but I love the ocean.
Have you played Subnautica?
Yes, I
It's
have.
terrifying.
Oh,
It's
so it's great.
terrifying.
It's the
No,
best.
it's
I
terrifying.
love it. I
No,
love
no.
it.
I'm not afraid of the ocean, but diving down into the dark depths and you cannot see, but you can hear. No, no
Look,
thanks.
man. Look, on GTA RP, I go scuba diving all the time, and there's sharks, and you just take out your hatchet, and when the shark comes at you, you hatchet the shark. You
Is
just
that
gotta
all you
be,
have to do? Is that
yeah.
it?
You can't be
Is
afraid.
it
You have to
that
just go
easy?
for it. Yeah, just
Okay.
hatchet the shark.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
fine.
You want to talk
All
about
right.
another anime that's coming?
Sure. Tell me about this other anime that's coming.
Well, you want to talk about this other anime?
Sure. We
What's
got a
coming up?
lot of things coming up. I'm going to talk about Shaman King. Now,
That's right, Shaman King.
Shaman King. Now, I never watched all of the original Shaman King. I was able to catch a few episodes here and there when it was on TV, but that was like the era of anime that I watched. And I dove in the middle of it and I never really got into it. But they are rebooting the series in April 2021. They're adapting all 35 volumes of manga. It's kind of similar to like a Full Metal Alchemist and a Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood
Yeah,
thing.
what Brotherhood did, yeah, and Fruit Baskets.
And Fruit Basket to get the canonical ending of the
Mhm.
anime. And I am so down. I am ready to watch it. And it sounds like a good time. I have a lot of my friends really enjoy it. So, yeah. I mean, are you going to watch it?
I did really like Shaman King, and I would be interested in seeing a more canon version of the anime. So, like
Mhm.
Brotherhood, like they said, like Brotherhood, I would like to see a more canon version of it.
Yeah.
You know me, I hate filler. So,
Yeah. See, I will watch filler once.
what are you talking about,
Once.
Chase? What do you mean? What are you talking about, Chase?
That evil. The Voldemort.
What do you
Voldemort.
mean? What's wrong?
Voldemort.
I have my energy drink in there.
Yeah, we don't. Just look at the Game of Thrones cup.
Yeah.
Just look at this. This is good. That is bad.
Hey,
Anyway,
you know what else is going on?
what else? Tell me what else is going on.
Bandai Namco Arts has announced on Wednesday that they will release a free streaming program called Mixbox. The beta version of the video game streaming program that connects you 24/7 will launch on the Atlantis YouTube channel at 11 p.m. EDT last Thursday. It already happened. Bandai Namco launched an official website and Twitter account for Mixbox. It is a streaming program that will offer music from Bandai Namco Arts and the Atlantis Music label, as well as promote Mix-Up, a project that's part of the Stay Home Initiative. So it's
There's
going to have.
lots and lots of artists are already
Oh
on
yeah.
this streaming service, and I can you give us a couple of those, DC? I do not have two monitors.
All right. So artists currently participating in Mix-Up are Ira Yuki, Chihiro Yonakura, CMB Kuri, Hirombu Kageyama, Hiroshi Kitadani, Jam Project, Kenichi Suzumura, Kenshiro, Masaki Endo, Masami Okui, Miyuki Hashimoto, Nami Tamaki, Sayaka Sasaki, Shiho Terada, Shuhei Kita, Yoshichika Kuriyama, Yoshiki Fukuyama. I have no idea. FHA with the little ampersand NA. No idea how to pronounce that. And
Fauna?
Yozuka.
Fauna?
I don't know.
I
Fauna?
don't know.
Fauna probably?
Fauna?
Yeah.
Maybe,
So
maybe.
uh
If you guys know in the chat, correct us, okay? Because we don't
here
know.
yeah, here's the deal with this though. You guys might not know this, but if you do know me, if you know my channel, if you know my feelings, I love Bandai Namco games. I love them. I am a huge anime fan. I'm a huge video game fan. Bandai Namco makes anime, video games, and toys. They're the people that make my mech toys that I love. They're the people that make the mech games that I love. They're the people that make a lot of things that I love. And Bandai Namco made a One Piece game that I love, and they have amazing music. So them teaming up with uh, a music label to bring more music about is freaking awesome to me.
That is pretty cool. That is pretty
Yes.
cool. And I guarantee it's only going to get bigger as we go on. So,
Yes, yes.
well, another thing going on is Anime News Network reports Promise Neverland. Amazon is developing an English live adaptation of the Promise Neverland manga series.
That's
Now,
concerning.
I have heard about Promise Neverland, but I've never seen it, never read it.
Promise Neverland is messed up. The
Ooh.
thing is that I don't trust live action most of the time. Now there is a group of people that will make a live action series that I do trust, and that is Warner Brothers. But that's because typically Warner Brothers has Warner Brothers Japan. They're the people that made the Kenshin live action movie series that was super true and as close to the anime as possible. It was as close to the manga as possible. They even gave the side character his giant sword. Like literally, they built a giant foam sword that was like 10 feet long.
That's awesome.
So they do their best to try and make it as realistic as possible. Now, anyone that has seen live action adaptations, namely from companies that bigger companies, shall we say, like Death Note, things like that, maybe Dragon Ball Z.
Definitely.
We know live action doesn't tend to work. It doesn't tend to be true.
But
There's a lot that goes into it. So
But the director of this adaptation is the same as Rodney Rothman, who directed Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and he's also writing the pilot. And I don't know about you, but Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was amazing.
yeah, I give it that. The only problem with that is that directing a animated movie and directing a live action movie are very different. So we're gonna have to see what his directorial skills are in the realm of live action and see if his see if he's like, if he's someone that should be more anime based. Like, in all honesty, it's perfectly fine to be a director of just like animated movies. I think that it's great. But one of the problems here is that they're going to be working with some of the people from Netflix's live action adaptation.
Mm,
So
Netflix.
Yeah.
The Otaku Empire in chat
Yeah.
says the Japanese live action for Death Note is a faithful and a good
Yeah,
adaptation. I have not
exactly.
seen it.
Otaku Empire. If you guys haven't seen My Neighbor 13, that was based off of a manga, and that was very as true to the manga as they could get. Um, yeah, the
Break it down.
Japanese, the Japanese, I am 100% down for live actions from them. I've watched a lot of them. I think they're great. I think that certain American divisions have good Japanese divisions for live action. But if you're working with the people that made Deathflix, meh.
Yeah, that's I'm willing to give it a shot.
Yeah.
Let's give him a
I mean,
chance, you
yeah,
know what I
we
mean?
got the people from Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse working on the plot and directing, so could be good. And then we got the producers from Deathflix, which
Yeah.
producers I've worked in Hollywood. My mom was a casting director for most of my life. My dad worked with her. I did some casting. I did some production work. I know how Hollywood works. Um, Producers can mess things up. Pretty, yeah. Chase, don't feel ill mentioning live action anime. You should really check out like honestly check out the Rurouni Kenshin stuff. It is
See,
beautiful.
I haven't seen it either. So, I mean, let's check it
I'll
out.
try and hook you up. I'll try and hook you
So,
up with it. It's really good.
DC, there's something about Star Blazers. What is that? What does that mean? Star Blazers.
Star Blazers Space Battleship Yamato gets a new manga. Uh Ryuko Azuma launched Uchu Senkin Yamato next slash Star Blazers, a new manga for the Star Blazers Space Battleship Yamato franchise on Kadokawa's Comic New Type web manga site. The first two chapters of the manga launched for a total of a 100-page debut.
That's not
So
that's
yeah, I don't remember. Like Star Blazer was like old school too, wasn't it?
yeah, see,
Yeah, yeah.
I've
Yamato
never
2199 is a remake of the original 1974 space battleship Yamato. So we're talking a remake and a renewing of a 1970s manga.
wow.
So we're
That's
getting a
crazy.
modernized, updated version of it, which is pretty sweet, honestly.
That is pretty crazy.
Yeah,
So,
dude, I'm
I
looking forward
mean,
to it.
I'll definitely give it a chance.
Yeah,
You know, everything's
I
worth
am
a
looking
chance.
forward
Everything's worth a shot.
to what's gonna happen.
Yeah, why not?
It's
Right.
space. It's cool.
The
It's
final
gonna be up.
frontier.
Well, I mean, yeah. Except like so many mangas and anime series and everything's have been through space that I'm not sure it's the final frontier anymore. I think it's like
Yeah.
the abused frontier. I just enjoy it.
Mm, okay, one of my favorites is Outlaw Star, though.
Yeah,
Eh,
exactly. That was
Yeeting that
awesome.
out there. We've never mentioned Outlaw Star before, and I just did. Outlaw Star.
I've
There.
mentioned Outlaw Star. What are you talking
Have
about?
you?
Yeah, I mentioned Outlaw Star a bunch.
Well, then,
It was one of my recommended animes for people who wanted to get into anime.
well, my memory is garbage, so that's
Yeah, it
probably
is.
why.
Yeah, it
Before
is. It's because all
I
you can think of
forget
is Edward
anything,
Elric.
let's move on to our topic. Remind me what our topic is, DC.
Favorite anime memories. Now these are we're talking like our own personal memories, our own personal like moments in anime for ourselves. Things that we remember not just about anime, but things in our lives that happen with anime or related to anime. You know,
Yes.
maybe we talk about friendships we made because of it, or people that got us into it, or whatever. Just th- talking about the fun.
Yeah, my first one is I'm gonna go way back in ye old days when I was just a wee little lassie, and we didn't really have TV. I mean,
Yeah.
we had TVs, but the signal was crap. And there was one show
I mean, we're
that I would
talking like, back in the 90s.
yes,
90s TV was
not
crap.
not to age myself, but early '90s. I didn't even know what anime was, but the show was Sailor Moon, and it played
So,
right after Street
she
Sharks.
is the one. Dude, Street Sharks. Hell
Right
yeah.
after Street Sharks,
It,
and
it's a little off topic here. A little off topic. I was in a store last year, like a really cheapo one of those, like five and dime stores like that.
dollar stores.
not quite a dollar store, but not quite Big Lots. Kind of like.
Somewhere in
Uh,
between.
yeah, and for $5 they had the entirety of Street Sharks.
Did you get it?
No, I had no money at the time.
Ah,
I was so tempted. They had the entirety
man.
of Street Sharks, and it was the only one DVD left. You mentioned Street Sharks, so I had to talk about that.
That's fine. It is expected. I'm glad somebody else remembered that show, or it wasn't
Hell
just
yeah!
like a
I
fever
have the
dream.
action figures.
Hell yeah.
I have the Street Sharks action
But
figures, man.
Sailor Moon, back then, my memories are fuzzy, so I cannot sit here and tell you like the best moment or anything. And I was raised in a hyper religious household, so watching anything that was not religious was a struggle. But Sailor Moon was just
I
like
got
the
VeggieTales.
first taste of that adventure and that wonder, just wonder of what anime was and what cartoons could be. And it just really impacted me. And I still like I have never finished Sailor Moon because I like later in high school I started watching it again and I was
Yeah,
like I outgrew it. Like I'm gonna watch it still, and I'm gonna watch it with my kids, so change the experience a little bit.
yeah.
And it's different now that I'm older. It was definitely geared toward a younger audience, but still,
Oh, of
Sailor Moon
course.
has a special place in my heart.
Well, yeah, there was like something I read earlier on in the week was movies and TV shows haven't changed. Your perception of them has changed, or your understanding of them has changed.
And that's
And
probably more true than not, really.
yeah. I mean, I still watch kids' cartoons. I mean, hell, I'll go back and watch some
Same,
SpongeBob.
guilty.
Heck yeah.
I love
Dude,
Steven Universe and
when
My Little Pony Friendship is
when
Magic. Send me your hate.
I mean, I remember being a kid and my mom watching Scooby Doo and stuff, and she, in her like 30s and 40s. So it's not really weird. We all do it. Everyone does it. It's human.
And then
But
Disney movies. Whoever doesn't like Disney movies can just get out because
yeah, get out
yes.
of here if you don't like Disney movies. But the question is, Angels, is VeggieTales anime?
No.
I say it's funny is we actually do have a similar experience of that. I wasn't raised in a very religious household, but my parents sent me to religious schools because they wanted me to be exposed to religion and make my own choices. Um,
No, I
but
mean
I
that's
I remember in like being in elementary school and them showing us VeggieTales and stuff. Well, not
VeggieTales
elementary school,
is awesome.
like first,
Religion
second grade.
aside, at least the VeggieTales I used to watch, it was awesome.
Well, even we are the pirates that don't do
They don't do
anything.
anything.
Yeah,
They
hell
just
yeah.
stay home and lie
If you
around
guys
and
haven't
it's
seen that,
like
listen to
that.
Reliant K's cover of that. It's amazing.
I actually
But
know what that is.
yeah,
We
you
do
know.
anything. We'll just tell
Hell you.
you we
We
don't do
don't do anything.
anything.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
um, but one of my biggest anime memories, when I was a kid, I would get sick a lot. Like, I mean, a lot. Every week, like every other week, I was sick. It got super bad. I would be sent home from school, like kindergarten, preschool, stuff like that, because I would just be coughing. I would be just miserable for weeks on end. And when I was 5 years old, they took me to a doctor, and my tonsils were so swollen they were touching. It's the term that they used
Not a
for
good
me was
time.
yeah, they called it kissing tonsils. It's when your tonsils swell so much that they touch, which should yeah, yeah, that's if you guys know anything about tonsils, they're very small. So if they're big enough to touch each other, you have a problem.
That's a bad time. You're having
Um,
a bad day.
when I was 5 years old, I had to go in for surgery to have my tonsils removed. And when I was in recovery, like I was eating popsicles because my throat was messed up and everything like that. And I had Cartoon Network. So what was on Cartoon Network at the time? We had Street Sharks, like you talked about, Ronin Warriors, Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon. For weeks on end while I was recovering, that's what I watched. That was like I've talked about. Those were my first animes, and that was why I got into anime because of that. I got into anime because I was just sick and recovering, and it stuck with me from 5 years old to now. Which we're talking the 90s. That's 20 plus years. That's a long
Yeah.
time to be into anime and not know what it is until I was like 14. I didn't really know that it was anime. I just thought it was really cool
It's a
cartoons.
cartoon. Yeah.
Yeah, it
That's
was
why I
just
said
really
it.
cool cartoons, man.
Yeah, for sure. Another one I have
Anime
is
plural is still anime. No, it's animes.
hmm,
It's animes. It will always be animes.
I
You're
am not
never gonna
taking a
convince me
side.
otherwise. I
I'm
will
not
fight
taking a
you.
side. I
No, I
don't
will
know.
fight you, and I will keep using it because it annoys you.
I don't know.
That is
I
how I will do it now. If it bothers you, I will keep doing it. Bossano. I will just call it Bossano. I will find a way to butcher everything.
So we're gonna
Everything.
talk about Baccano before another this episode then?
Oh yeah, sure. If it's gonna annoy people,
Ugh, shush.
depends. Is it gonna annoy people? Then yeah, yeah. I see those
DC.
things. I live for that. I live for it. I'm a troll, man. I'm a troll. I live for it.
Angel's trying to talk.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
It's not.
All right, and then couple years after that, satellite TV. So I remember early Saturday mornings, I would get up. I had an old rabbit ear TV. You know what I mean? The rabbit ears.
Oh, oh, you're making me feel old.
And
It
I would
hurts.
sit there for
Was it
like
the
at
big
least
box? Was it
20.
like the big box
Oh
TV that
yeah,
had like the huge back end
and
that you need
the
like
the
three people
bulgy
to
screen.
move? Yeah, you
Yeah,
needed like four people together to move like a 20-inch TV. It was just like
exactly.
turn. Oh
And
man,
I
you
would
remember the
get up
sound?
20 minutes early on Saturday morning, and I would make sure the picture was as clear as I could get it because
I
I
was
had to watch one show. There was a bunch of other shows that played, but me and my sister, now those of you that know me personally know me and my sister don't have the best relationship. We tolerate each other at best. Even back then, we tolerated each other at best. That was our bonding time was
is it
Saturday
like
morning.
us?
That was
It's like
that
us.
was
We tolerate each other at best.
shut up. I will I will I will slap something into a box and it's gonna be like those glitter things and I'll mail it to you and when it opens up you're just gonna get punched in the face by
Oh
like a
yeah, I
big
love glitter.
and then glitter will just explode everywhere.
I love glitter. Hell yeah,
So shut up.
I'm down for it.
Shut up. But anyway, and then I would make sure the signal was clear and go wake up my sister and be like, "It's on in 5 minutes." And we'd come
It's
both
on.
bundle up in my room under blankets or whatever, depending on the season, and we would watch Digimon Adventure.
Oh
Digimon
yeah,
Adventure 1 and
Young
Digimon Adventure
Digimon.
2. And that
Young
was our thing.
Digimon.
Like there was other shows that were on and we would watch those too. Like there was I think there was Fighting Foodons on around that time too. Anyone remember Fighting Foodons?
Yes, I've talked about this. Yeah,
Once they're edible. Yeah,
you
that was
like
an interesting show.
I forgot that show existed until you mentioned it, and then I was like, oh, I remember that.
My memory is garbage, but the things that stick in my memory that I actually remember is really weird. But
Dude, now I'm
but
remembering Sonic
Digimon was a lot
X.
of my childhood. Like all of my imaginary games and my storytelling from that age was all Digimon. As I said before, I had like I
Mine
think
was
it was
Mega
my
Man
I think it was my like my 11th birthday,
and Dragon Ball Z.
maybe. Maybe maybe 10th birthday, I don't remember. Somewhere in that time frame, it was my Digimon birthday. Digimon was big. I got Digimon bed streets, Digimon blankets, Digimon comforters, Digimon pillows, Digimon everything.
Digital Monsters. Digimon.
Sorry, something just hit my door and I'm just shooketh for a moment. I think
Am
it's a dog. I see
am
a
I the only
tail.
one that seriously kept thinking every time they said it was Garlic Champions? Seriously, for years, every
I
time I
was
heard
not sure what it was. I just kind of
Digimon
went,
Garlic
champion.
Champions, I couldn't figure out what the
I
heck they
thought
were
it was
saying.
like Garland or something like that.
I don't
I
know.
did hear the G sound too, though.
Yeah,
I really
I
did.
just constantly was like, why is it garlic? What garlic? What?
And it wasn't actually until I got the soundtrack from the first Digimon movie, which is
Hey
actually
Digimon, hey
funny.
Digimon, champions
Exactly.
of the poison. That's ska, baby.
That was I still have those songs on my phone to this day. You're making me feel childish now. I don't feel old
Oh,
anymore. Now I feel childish.
what is?
But
Oh God,
it wasn't
I
until
need to
then that I
keep talking.
realized.
I
But
need to look up something.
okay, you look up something. But it was actually funny. I know this is kind of a little off topic, but that Digimon movie actually like spoiled the show because they were not releasing it unless it was dubbed at that time on the local channels and stuff. And the dub had not caught up to where Davis got Vmon to armor digivolve into Raidramon. So when we're watching that movie in theaters, it's like, who the hell is this cool dragon? But I don't care because Lightning Dragon, ride it, yes. And that was just one of those things, from anime, especially back in the time when they didn't really care as much. It wasn't as popular as it is now.
Yeah, it wasn't as popular, but like it back in the days, like back in those days, like when I was 8 years old, you had your Digimon themed birthday. I was 8 years old. I had my Pokemon themed birthday, which my mom made, hand painted a bunch of Pokemon, Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur, Pikachu. She hand painted a bunch of them, and we had these pieces of plywood that my dad cut into a circle, and we put latches behind so that we could use them as shields. And what we
That's
did was we literally had each person got to pick a Pokemon, and then we would put that Pokemon onto the shield and throw water balloons at each other's shields.
that's awesome.
Yeah, so we had our own like live action Pokemon battle by throwing water balloons at the shields, trying to destroy the painting of the Pokemon.
Awesome.
And yeah, it was really cool.
That does sound
It's
pretty cool.
yeah,
I
it's stuck
was
in my
not
head
allowed to
forever.
watch Pokemon because they were demons.
Dude,
Digimon it was. Which
my
made no
dad,
sense.
when I was young, I was so into Pokemon. I was like 8 9 years old. I was super into Pokemon, and there was one place in like downtown Lakewood, Santa Barbara, like downtown. We lived in Long Beach. It was a long drive. It was like 20 30 minute drive to get there, and there was this one comic shop which I ended up going back to multiple times to get Pokemon cards and Magic the Gathering cards. And
I still play
they,
Magic.
I do too. I'm still in the Magic. But that was where I found they had Charizard, and I wanted Charizard super bad.
I
Like
had a Charizard.
yeah, I never got Charizard. I don't know how much money I spent in Pokemon cards. I don't know why my dad allowed me to spend so much money in Pokemon cards,
Oh, it was
but
a fun memory. Come on.
he
You had fun
no,
with
no,
it.
you have no idea how much money I spent. And my dad was chill with it, man. My dad supported me. Like he's been a big
That's
supporter of
pretty
me my
awesome.
entire life.
That's
But
awesome.
I remember seeing that Charizard for $100, and that was where my dad was like, "There's no fucking way I'm buying you a Charizard for $100." Um, because that's
It's
ridiculous.
it's a card.
Yeah,
Like
it's a
back
card.
then,
It's
I
one
mean
card.
I understand, but still
I
it's a
was.
card.
Do you know what annoys me about that though? Like to this day, what annoys me about that? I I had Squirtle to Blastoise and Bulbasaur to Venusaur. I had a Mewtwo. Like I had everything but freaking Charizard. That
My
was
Charizard happened to disappear after my sister and I split our Pokemon because we had our collection
oh
together, and
strange,
it
weird.
disappeared. But I did keep my Shadowless Blastoise, and if those of you that collect Pokemon cards, it's incredibly rare. I don't think it's worth anything anymore, but if I had known what it was back then,
Yes. Oh
I
man,
could have
the
made a lot of money off of that card. It's a
Pokemon cards
Shadowless
don't.
Blastoise.
Pokemon cards are
Yeah,
like Magic cards. They don't hold their value, man. You can get it. You freaking Black Lotus is upwards of like $300,000. That's ridiculous.
yeah, that card.
I
Whew.
didn't find out you could buy like a pack of alpha for like less than 6,000.
Okay, now I'm convinced the dog
And
that's pushing at my door. Sorry. It's
here's a
very
fun
distracting
fact:
when you just hear the
you can buy a
rhythmic
pack.
thumping.
Yeah, you can buy a cheap, a relatively cheap pack of alpha. I say relatively cheap because the cards in it can be worth upwards of like $100,000, and it costs like 6 grand to buy the pack.
Oh,
So,
is that all?
relatively cheaper compared to 300,000.
You
There's like a
know,
heavy chance you get a Black
I
Lotus and
play
make all of
Magic
your
for
money.
fun, and I'm not good at it, but I play
No,
Magic the Gathering for fun,
I made it.
and that's
I
about
made a.
it.
I made the most annoying deck in the world called my Goblin deck, which was the most annoying thing in the world because I didn't put anything that cost more than 2 mana in it.
Wow.
You know how annoyed people were when I
That
played my
sounds
goblin?
awful.
It just swarmed. Everything just swarmed, and I put so much stuff in it that my goblins got up to like +6, +6. So I had 7 goblins.
Oh, jeez.
I'm a terrible person.
Wow.
I told you,
Wow.
I'm a troll, man. Uh,
Well, another one of my favorite anime movies or movies memories. I
my
know how
cards
to
from
word.
my sister because she would bend them and mess them up. Exactly.
I had to do effing boss. I had to do that with my brother.
I know I'm a monster, Chase. I know. I'm a horrible person.
See what I have to
Uh,
deal with? Do you guys see what I have to deal with?
Tell us about your memories. I'm just talking to chat. It's cool.
I was too. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well, my husband, he's not much of an anime guy. He's not much of a fandom guy. He's just, your average chat. He likes fixing cars and riding dirt bikes and going to work. But I was able to get him into anime back when we were dating. And the anime I got him into was Bleach. I had just started watching it myself, and he took an interest in it. And I know I'm going to hear it. We still haven't finished it to this day. You've heard the reasoning why behind that. But it's just one of those things that now that he had gotten into anime, we binged so much Bleach. That was, back before we had the touch of our fingers. So we had to go and buy the DVD box sets and everything like that. And this was actually his shirt. I got him a long time ago, but when people get older, they get fatter, so I got the shirt. And so it was just like it's special because of the fact that my husband who was not really into that kind of stuff. Oh, what do you got over there?
What do you think?
This is on Zanpakuto.
It's Tosin
Mm.
Zanpakuto.
Ah, Tosin. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got the little ring and everything. I bought it for $5.
Yes, Chase, he does like going to work. I don't know what's wrong with him. Anyway, that's buy any Zanpakuto for $5. But anyway, and it's now that that was like the gateway anime for him, and now he will watch certain ones, even watching Attack on Titan with subtitles, which is not something I normally do, let alone him, but he watched season 1 of Attack on Titan with me with subtitles. And that was awesome. And like now we're watching My Hero together and all these other kinds of stuff. And it's just really introduced Bleach, really introduced anime to my husband, and it kind of made us closer because we had something to share then, because I was the big nerd, he was a pretty sporty guy, and we had something to share, and it was pretty cool.
That is cool. See, that's like one of my friends got me into like manga and stuff. I've talked about her before in elementary school and things like that. But like it was One Piece that got me into like role playing. I didn't like know about or do anything with role playing. Like it's important for me to mention that because this is a major part of my life now. I'm a huge role player now because I got into a One Piece role play where I played my character Jason Rogers, and I just remember like reading One Piece, watching One Piece, and just being so absorbed in that world and finding that role play, and now how it's become like such a big major part of my life. And I never would have been there if it weren't for One Piece itself. Heck, my name directionally challenged. I got it because of Zoro from One Piece. I can't remember if it was in the dub or something like that. I just remember one of the translations, Usopp calls Zoro directionally challenged because he's like, "What are you directionally challenged?" Because if you guys don't know, Zoro literally cannot run in a straight line. That man literally got lost on a tiger. This is very. I mean, it's spoilers, but it's not. They were on a beast going to a location. All of them were on it, and somehow Zoro got lost. I want you to picture that. That's like being in a
Is
car.
that like I have a loose understanding of One Piece. Isn't that like they have to sacrifice something or something to have their flat powers? Did he just lose all sense of direction,
No,
or is that just him
Zoro
himself?
doesn't have any powers. Zoro
Oh,
literally has no power. His
oh,
power is his yes, no, he runs in the other direction even when it's right in front of him. One of the jokes is they were going up a staircase. They had to turn left to go up a staircase. Everyone said we need to go up this staircase, and Zoro went past the staircase. No, he didn't. He literally he did not need the direction to be. That would give him a sense of direction. He is literally just the least like I don't know what's wrong with Zoro. His power is killing intent though. Zoro's superpower is killing intent. He has so much killing intent he can literally create physical illusions.
oh.
Yeah,
Hmm,
yeah. As is
that's
Zoro.
neat.
Zoro's most well known for killing 100 bounty hunters in a single night, and it has been confirmed killed.
Damn, damn, that's pretty good.
I Otaku Empire Zoro versus Monet, where Zoro sliced a Logia user. This is important. Logia fruit users are typically impervious to damage. The only thing that can hurt them is sea stone, hockey, or the opposite element. Example: if you were made of ice, fire would melt you. Typical: if you're made of fire, water would hurt you. Right? Makes sense. Zoro sliced in half
Yeah.
person made of snow, and the wound was filled with so much killing intent, she was incapable of reforming.
Oh, that's
That is
intense.
the level of killing intent Zoro possesses. He didn't use hockey, he didn't use anything. He just sliced with so much hate that she was incapable of reforming from the wound. Zoro is
That
amazing.
if you have that much salt within your body, that is definitely a superpower.
No, man, Zoro's just like the most
So close.
badass. Like, Zoro's the living embodiment of badass. Uh, Semi spoilers, he used a sword that drains all of your hockey, like it forces the hockey out of your body. His
Are we
arm
talking
became
hockey sticks and hockey
hockey
pucks
is
here?
hockey's like translated as like spirit energy. But it literally mummified like
Gotcha. Okay.
it mummified his arm. Like all of his muscle and everything was gone, and Zoro just literally looks at the sword and goes, "Give it back." And you just see his arm reform, and it's just like that's Zoro. That's the level of badass that Zoro is.
That's that's pretty badass.
Yeah, really reminds me of
Yeah,
the hero
gotta agree that
Yoshihiko. Yeah, you guys need to watch the hero Yoshihiko. It is a parody of Dragon Quest. It is amazing, and Zoro Zoro reminds me of Donjo. Is it? Yeah, I think it's Donjo. Who he had shaved his sideburns, which he like loved his big old mutton chop sideburns, and cut his hair, and he was just like they convince him to be a warrior again, and he's just like, "You're right," and they're like, "But what about your hair?" And he just goes, "Mm," and all of his hair is back.
that's that's something.
That is the power of man.
Oh,
That's anime in a nutshell. Yeah, Zoro's anime in a nutshell.
I've
Zoro's
had a
just,
lot of memories,
yeah, I love Zoro.
but
Go on. I've talked
my
long enough.
favorite memories. I am. Memories are watching anime with friends. Like, I remember when I first moved to the area that I lived in now, and I didn't really have a lot of friends, and I made one friend, and she plays video games with me sometimes on my channel. Her name's I call her Ninja, but her name's Megan. And Ninja Donut, by the way, not anybody super famous ninja, but I remember back in the day when Inuyasha came on Toonami, we would call each other because she lived the next town over. We went to the same school, small community, but she lived the next town over, and so we couldn't like always go to each other's house. So we'd call each other whenever Inuyasha came on. That has nothing to do with what I'm talking about, but it's very
No,
cool.
I'm just showing things to the people.
Mm-mm-mm.
It's my book of the samurai.
You could at least pretend to be interested in what I'm
I'm
saying.
literally listening.
Okay.
You
But
would
and
call your friend over so you can watch anime.
no, we wouldn't
Well, not over,
call
but
each other over,
on
but
the
we call each other and we would watch it on the phone with each other. And I think it was my TV that was like 5 seconds faster than hers. And
oh,
so I wouldn't have it too loud otherwise cuz it'd just be we're watching it and I would gasp like, "Did you see that?" And then 5 seconds later, "I just saw that." And it was just
that's God, that's sort of like watching anime together now online,
it
where
is.
like where there is that delay and stuff where people might be a little bit further or not, and everyone's just like trying to organize it so that it starts at the same
Press
time
play in 3, 2,
to
1.
but then you got to deal with
Yeah.
the fact that well, do I do it after one or do I do it on one? And people are like, it's like sometimes you get an anime like people are like 2 seconds ahead or a split second ahead.
Yeah, the Otaku Empire's right screen share, but you guys know how my internet is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we've tried. We have a hard time with that. But yeah, and that was and I actually I kind of do like a two-part one because I watched
Oh God, Robo
We
Angels.
watched it Megan. Hey, good. It's only the first time. Technical difficulties. We might have been ignoring them a little bit.
Sorry, technical difficulties. We love you.
We do love you. We do love you. But and then my other friend Colette, she is part of our empire. As I've said many times, she holds me down, ties me up, and makes me watch anime. And some of the best animes that I have seen, I've experienced with not only her but just with my friends. And it's just like it's I can't find words. It's just so much funner when you get to experience like a friend. Like I would have never watched Gurren Lagann, Colette's favorite anime, by myself. I'm not a big fan of Mecha, but she's like, no, you have to watch it. Just watch the first episode, watch a couple episodes, give me a chance. And I'm like, all right, fine. Then can we play video games if I don't like it? You know. And
No,
then we did watch it, and it was a good time. It
yeah,
really was. And a lot of my friends, that's like what we want to do. Hey, let's come over and watch anime. Heck yeah, we're big nerds.
yeah.
Not right now.
Like
A
right
little
now
bit
with
more.
me and my friends, it's more like, hey, let's make a role play. Let's role play Naruto. Let's role play Fairy Tail. Let's role play Bleach.
That
Put
is
ourselves.
awesome. I do role plays, but not anime role plays.
Man, I did a full. You would like this because I did a Full Metal Alchemist role play that didn't kick off.
Ooh.
That was
Aw.
actually a really good and sad memory. The character I was playing, my entire goal was to create a legal and safe philosopher's stone.
Maybe with volunteers, I guess.
No, okay. Well, it does relate to anime, and it is an anime memory that I really enjoyed. Um, like what I did was I went through the series and I found out that they talked about in series you can create redstones using plants and not people. Normally, the
Mhm.
redstones, if you guys have seen Full Metal Alchemist, that's what they use to create the false philosopher's stones, which are made usually with humans as host to the stone, but you can make them with plants as host to the stone, typically trees. So I was like, if I get a forest of trees, like an orchard of trees, and I just use the red water to water them and cultivate the redstones within those trees, and then the redstones themselves act like a temporary philosopher's stone. You might get one use, you might get 1,000 uses, you don't know. But if I get all of them together and I collect thousands of the redstones and use a redstone to merge them all together, I can create a philosopher's stone. Legal,
Maybe,
safe,
maybe,
maybe. Who
maybe.
knows? Look, I was interested in
Chase
seeing where that roleplay was going to go to see if I could do it.
Chase says RP is life. Yes, it is,
Yeah,
and
it
he
is.
also says Farmer DC.
Heck yeah.
Which next time we play Don't Starve, we're gonna make DCB
Oh,
do all of the
oh,
farming.
Farmer Chase. Um, but another thing, like I want to talk about, this is very important. This is a big part of my life. I love ska music. Why does this relate to anime? You'll see. One of the things that I discussed was the Hey Digimon song. Hey Digimon, champions. That was ska,
Hey
and
Digimon, hey Digimon.
I love ska. I loved it since my uncle Jason got me into
Well,
Sublime.
all I can think of is the Dream Daddy dating simulator because there's a whole bit about ska.
Ska's amazing, but I want to bring this up because when Rave Master, the English dub, came out, if you guys don't know about Rave Master, it's freaking awesome. It's about
Heard
the
of it?
Rave Stones. It was, again, I believe it was created by Hiro Mishima, the guy who did Fairy Tail. He also did Rave Master. Um, yeah, I know. I
That's
believe
awesome.
so. But the opening to Rave Master, the English dub, was created
Oh,
by one of
wait,
my
wasn't it
favorite bands.
in Fairy Tale Plu, the little snowman dog
Yep,
thing?
it's from
Okay,
Rave.
okay. Sorry, just
Yeah, as well as Orion Sace. They're from Rave too. Uh,
Ration face.
Orion Sace, whatever you want to call them. They're Orion Sace.
Only the Ration face. Sorry, there was a
But
song.
the opening to Rave Master, the English dub, was done by a real big fish. I'm not even joking. The opening song for the dub was done by Real Big Fish.
I
I will send it to you
I don't know.
later. Once upon
I
a
don't.
time there was, yeah.
Okay, I
It
will
is
listen to it later.
it's called Revolution.
Oh. I mean, with the
Yeah,
anime
man.
called Grave Master, yeah.
Yeah,
Do they
dude,
get to like
Revol. No,
No?
because it's ska.
Oh.
Yeah, dude, do you not know ska, man?
No, I was trying to be funny, play on the name
No,
Rave Master.
you
Yeah.
can't. You can't because you can't diss ska.
I
It's got
wasn't
that. It's
trying to
got that
discuss.
nice,
I was
cool
talking about the
reggae rock
anime
thing.
itself, not the opening.
No, it's about Stones.
You want to get stoned? Oh,
Yeah, it's a weird anime.
all right.
Hero's a
I'm a
weird guy.
I'm gonna talk about one of my favorite memories, and it was not actually like it's gonna be in my memory forever, but I think it'll be more of my kid's memory for his life than more so of mine. And I asked my 6-year-old 2 years ago. He's almost 8 now, was soon to be 6-year-old. 2 years ago, what kind of birthday party he wanted. I was expecting adventures, Captain America, Spider Man, dirt bikes again,
Spider
dinosaurs.
Man.
He asked for a Naruto birthday party. And me being the nerdy overachiever that I am, said yes. Like I make cakes. None of them are that exciting. None of them are that great, but I can make cakes. So that's what my like. What cake do you want? What napkins do you want? Kind of thing. But no, huh?
I said I can't bake for crap.
He asked for a Naruto birthday party, and I had made everything. I made a Rasengan beanbag toss board. I made pin the headband on the ninja. You guys are gonna see some pictures,
Look at them.
and yeah, and I did it all by hand myself, and I did have my mom's help on some of the sewing stuff, and I made the cake, and then I made the kunai from like fun noodles and barbecue skewers, and I made little ninja scrolls for a relay race, and it really took like 3 weeks, and I made the pinata. I made the pinata. It's an Orochimaru pinata, and the kids got to attack it and kill Orochimaru for being the bad guy. And I put a lot of work and effort into that. And it was one of the best birthday parties I've ever done or even been to. And we had a really good time. The kiddos you see are my kiddos. The big one is the one who the birthday party for. That's Zachary. And we also had a dart toss, a shuriken toss to pop the balloons, and we had a ninja attack. Like I had the adults that were willing to help me fill big garbage bags full of balloons, and we drew on every single balloon. I don't have pictures of that, unfortunately, like enemy ninja faces. And then the kids had to go pop all the balloons, and one of them had a secret scroll. And yeah, it
Nice.
was a good time. We had a lot of fun with that one,
Sounds like a
and
lot of fun.
I'm really hoping that my boys will want to be more creative like that in the future. I'm not gonna shove that kind of stuff down their throat, but if they ask me for it, I'm gonna be all for it.
It's always good to encourage creativity. Yeah, encourage creativity. Encourage them. They want to be into anime. Let them be into anime. Be like, yeah, do it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and they as I said, that's the main. Well, okay, it's not the main reason. I prefer dubs otherwise, but I also use watch the dubs because my kids watch with me,
Dubs hot.
and I like
Yeah, for the most
dubs.
part. Like I said, my opinion on dub has always been it's some things are good in dub, some things are good in sub, and
Boss,
it really.
probably should have hit you up then, boss, because you were there and you have more pictures than I probably did. Like I struggled to get those pictures. Some of them were like screenshots from random videos, but I'm like, I must do this. But
all
yes,
of all of my memories, man. All of my memories are stuck in a storage unit in California, and I'm in Missouri.
that sucks. But
Oh
yeah, I
no,
mean, my kids
I got
also a little side story, nothing really to do with anime, but also with the
stop
creativity
at
for
the
things with my
sneeze.
kids. oh, bless you whenever you sneeze. But one year they wanted to dress
Nope.
up like Steven Universe characters, and I went above and beyond. I made the shield, I made the gems. Like, I'm not that good at stuff, but I learned a lot along the way of the creating. Like I could do cosplay if I ever had the time and money to devote to it. I learned that from making this kind of stuff and doing these kind of things. And it was a good time. It was a good
Speaking
time.
speaking of cosplay, this doesn't have to do with anime, but it is kind of funny. Uh, One of my local card shops, game stores, they had a Halloween night where you were supposed to dress up as a Magic the Gathering character,
Oh geez.
and this was during what was that? What was that block? The block with like the zombies and the werewolves and the angels. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
It was like
the set. I don't
yeah,
remember.
that's it. I dressed up as the zombie butcher, like painted
Ah.
my skin blue. I bought a freaking hatchet and everything, and I won first prize, which was like $100 in store credit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude, my mom, like you are doing with your kids. Like I said, she made that anime stuff for me. I've shared some stuff on my Twitter before. My brother, in his SpongeBob costume, he loves SpongeBob. My mom has always been that sort of artistic person who has done that. That has been encouraged in me. So I'm not very good at stuff like that. I'm good at like I showed you my crappy
I
sound
like your
sound
little
thing
sound box.
earlier. Like I've made a little sound box. I've always been good at creating stuff like that.
That's the thing though with kids, it doesn't have to be
Yeah,
perfect. It
that's what
doesn't.
I like about it is like encouraging kids to explore their creative side, to explore, new venues of entertainment. Normally they wouldn't be exposed to anime. At like 6 years old, they normally probably be watching
Paw Patrol.
Paw Patrol or whatever. Watch whatever you want. It's my opinion. Watch whatever you want, but it's always good to get into new media from other countries and things like that. I've talked about I watch a lot of Japanese dramas, things like that. I also enjoy watching um, British shows. I enjoy watching shows from Korea. I like this idea though of creating and fostering the creativity in your kids. I think that that's really cool. I think that that's like super awesome that you made that birthday for your kid. That's going to be like we talked about our birthdays when we were, I was 8, you were 10. That's a memory that has stuck with us for 20 years. So like your little 6-year-old is going to have this awesome memory that's going to be stuck with them for years and years and years to come. And that's what's cool about not just anime. That's what's cool about fostering creativity. I love that stuff. I think it's
And
great.
when I was doing the preparation for the birthday party, I was panicking because I was running out of
Don't cry.
time and I'm good.
I was just teasing you.
Okay, I'm like, I actually this time today I'm not emotional. We're good. We're good.
Good.
But I was running out of
We will be
time,
later.
and like as I said mentioned before, my family was super religious, and I mentioned to my mom what I was trying to do while I was so stressed out, and she offered to help me, and she actually did like she sewed all of the little because I couldn't get the kids the big blocky chunky headbands because they
Yeah.
couldn't make it in time. I had like 2 weeks to prepare for this. I'd had to order them all from overseas, so we got like fabric and we sewed them and we did fabric paint and everything. But
Yeah.
it was a good time, and
It's
honestly,
good enough.
I hope for more opportunities to encourage that with my children and that create memories for them because
Yeah.
as Una says, someday everything's going to be gone, you
Yeah,
know?
it's great to foster those memories now. And with anime and things, we've had those memories. It's great to have like the next generation get a chance to have those same kind of memories that we have. Those special moments in anime, those moments that, we remember. Like I remember very vividly watching Brotherhood and watching the original Full Metal Alchemist. I remember very vividly Edward, giving up his arm and his leg, losing his arm for his brother, giving up his leg to bring his soul back. Those are powerful moments in anime where it's a very human connection because like maybe as a kid you don't feel that as much because maybe as a kid you don't have someone that like if you like me I grew up as an only child till I was 15. My brother is 15 years younger than me. um I I
That can
now
be lonely.
yeah, well it was fine. I
Like
now
my boys are very close. I didn't mean to
yeah,
interrupt. Boys are very close, and I have to constantly remind them how lonely they would be without each other
well
because they fight
like
all the
yeah,
time. 5 and 7.
yeah, for me now though, like with my little brother, I fully understand, Edward Elric, what he did for Alphonse. I fully get it. There's moments in anime that you can relate to now. A lot of people probably, I think that's why I don't care what age you are when you watch anime. There's so many moments you can relate to. Just like
Yeah. On that note, I find myself relating a lot with not only the main characters but also the parent characters
yeah,
with a lot of
exactly.
things like in the movie Colorful, which I will talk about. Don't you worry. I related a lot with the mother, and that I'm not going to talk about it at this moment, but there's I can also like relate to the older characters where I couldn't when I was younger.
Yeah,
And I
now that
like
you've grown up, you've got
parents in anime
experiences.
get shafted a lot. They just but yeah. I want an anime with a superhero like parent that has to
Tiger and
still be
Bunny,
really
Tiger and Bunny. I
that has
believe,
to be
yeah,
that present parent has to raise a child but also has to do like superhero things.
if I'm remembering properly, one of the characters in Tiger and Bunny is a father to a young daughter, but he's also a superhero. So you should check it out if you really want that sort
I
of
will.
thing. You should check out
I would
Tiger and
like
Bunny.
to get. And the effing boss in chat says that she also tries to cater to her kids and letting them decide things on their own and experiencing anime with them together. Oh, and she also relates most to the mother from Wolf Children. Yes, that
I,
movie was heartbreaking as a mother to watch.
I've really been relating a lot to like stuff with like brothers and sisters or siblings and things like that. But I fully believe like I don't have a sister, but there are animes where you can see a brother and a sister fighting for each other, and you understand that if you have a sibling at all, that like I get that struggle. I get the two siblings wanting to work together.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
and
Anime is powerful.
especially like as I said before, me and my sister haven't always gotten along, but if push comes to shove, we got each other's back. I
Yeah,
totally get that too. And I have an older brother too, and it's just yeah, I totally get it. Like that sibling, it's also like that one person that if you have nobody else that always has your back kind of thing.
yeah. That's anime, man. Anime really.
Anime, if I had to sum up anime, since we're kind of talking along the veins of relations and experiences and why I enjoy anime so much, is it's just a sense of wonder. It's unrestrained wonder and adventure and imagination, no matter what kind of it. I'm not into much
Yeah,
slice of life animes. That's not really my thing,
I've never been into slice of life really.
but they still have their appeal as well. Like that's the cool thing about anime. It's just it's a whole world that can
Yeah,
open up.
there's so much that goes on in it, and I
And it
kind of
can
like
really impact your life no matter how old you are and make that's what the whole topic was even about was making these memories and these
yeah what it's
interactions.
how it impacts you and things like that. It's
Hmm.
I also gotta
Very
say what I like about anime is that anime sort of like cartoons from the 90s is it tackles harsh subjects, whereas like
yeah,
a lot of entertainment kids entertainment now doesn't really it doesn't really tackle those kind of subjects. It doesn't really
it's very powder puffy with kids
yeah.
entertainment today. They don't want to offend anyone, they don't want to upset anyone. Like we used to
But
watch you Looney Tunes where Bugs Bunny smoked and they shot each
well,
other, and
heck
I
man, you
mean
remember Batman the animated series? That handled some tough subjects. Actually, Batman the animated series
actually yeah,
handled mental illness rather well. The Mad Hatter, that was a really sad
yeah.
episode. And like
Remember
as I
Gargoyles?
yeah, gargoyles, man. Mad
Gargoyles
Hatter
was another one.
Mad Hatter that episode, as I've gotten older, this is going to lead into discussion here in a little bit, actually. But as I've gotten older and I've started to realize my own mental illness and like I've been dealing with my own depression, anxiety, and stress disorders. I really have started to understand that character better, and
Yeah.
that episode hits a whole new way when you go through your own struggles, man. That episode
Yeah.
hits, and there's anime that hit you like that, and I'm gonna use this as a moment to branch into our next layer of discussion about Anime Club. um, this week's movie, Colorful. I did not watch it for personal reasons this time. I know it's pretty much a meme at this point that DC doesn't watch the movies. I'm very picky about my movies. I'm very picky about what I watch. But this week I skipped the movie because of a very personal thing to me. I don't mind. I don't mind talking about it. I have had my own experiences with suicide, and that's sort of what this movie goes into this week. And I'm not doing well mentally this week, so I didn't want to revisit that.
Hugs for DC in chat, guys. Hugs for
Yeah,
DC in chat.
it was about,
Give him some love, guys. He needs it because we all
but
have bad days and bad times.
yeah,
But
it just,
DC and I actually talked on the side a lot about this movie. Because
yeah,
I told him what was going on it, so he will have a basic understanding when we get to it of what the
yeah,
movie was about. And I am going to talk about this movie, but first we should talk about our episodes.
yes. The Otaku Empire. DC didn't watch it. We still love him. Thanks, guys. It's just, it is a very sensitive subject. I know
It's
for
a
a lot of
sensitive subject
people,
for everybody.
it might be, yeah, it's very sensitive. If you guys aren't in the place to handle that right now, it's cool. It's cool. Don't force yourself to.
Okay, everybody, when I talk about it, I'm telling you guys right now, the movie is about suicide and self harm and that kind of stuff. But that's not the whole premise of the movie. When
Yeah,
I talk about it, I will be tactful. I will not go into any details. Okay, okay.
we've
I
had the
will
discussion. We're
take
cool
and
with
handle it
it.
tactfully. But anyway, episode 11 of Another. The title was Makeup.
Yeah. Yeah. That was. I'm trying to figure out these titles. What 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 do they relate to? Because
You
uh,
know, Baccano's titles are really long, but it wears them on its sleeve. It doesn't.
kind of
That's exactly what you read in that title is exactly what you're going to see
what
in that episode.
happens. Whereas with Another, I'm trying to figure out makeup. What?
And then just before the intro even started, we had Mitsunaga. We had a little bit of a flashback of him sitting there recording the tape,
Yeah,
and
we actually we
it,
normally.
it was so out of the norm for Another, really. Like,
Yeah, it was very bizarre that
and
it
it
was.
didn't give us any new details or anything like that. It just literally
No,
showed us a young Mitsunaga just recording the tape and
yeah,
saying, "Send the bit dead back to death."
but it wasn't even like he was recording it. It was he was speaking to the audience, which was very odd.
Yeah, you're
That
right
was,
there. I assumed he was recording the tape, but it
yeah.
could have been some. There's this piece of hair that keeps going over the top of my headphones, and I've had enough of it. I
I've got
apologize.
this. I've got
Anyway,
this weird these weird strands of hair that don't want to be controlled. So yeah, we
and
get
then
a
I
recap.
have an observation about
Oh
the
yeah,
intro real quick before we start getting the meat
yeah.
of
Hit
this
us with it.
episode. I was sitting there, and I always let the intros play because I like the intros on both of these animes. And I was just kind of idly watching it, but my brain was doing a thing. And then read the lyrics. There is another me who loves someone so much it hurts. I wonder which one is the illusion. And normally the lyrics of the intros don't have a lot to do with the animes. But as we found out a lot about May, that she did have another her. It was
Yeah.
her twin. And I don't know if it actually is going to be like any sort of plot revelation. Maybe the twins really lie. Maybe May's a twin. Maybe da da da. I don't think so. But it was just like interesting that coincided. Just a little interesting observation. That's all.
Which actually leads into the opening part of the anime itself, where Akazawa and Glasses Girl are discussing Misaki, uh, and they're talking about I remember her from
Elementary school.
elementary school, but she didn't have an eye patch back then,
Mhm.
and everyone's like and it's
So
just
there's
like
thinking May is a dead one because there's inconsistency. But we, as the viewer, know it was her
no,
twin
she's a
sister.
twin. Yeah,
Yeah,
like that's the weirdest thing is that it like
because the May we
no
know lost her eye at what, like 4?
yeah, at 4 years old, they're like, ooh,
Yeah.
sh- later on, I'm gonna skip ahead just a little bit. They talk about, she came back incomplete, and it's like, but dude, they've never talked about that in any of what happened. These people
No.
are just like, my memories about May are inconsistent. But I was like, hey guys, you guys remember how it talked about how it changes your memories to
Mhm.
match? If your memories are inconsistent, maybe she's not the dead one.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because your
totally.
memories wouldn't be inconsistent. That's how
There's a
the
lot
curse.
of logic gaps in this whole episode. Like, why would people do some of the things that they do? But we will get into that because first, what happens is it gives a
I fully
what?
understand. So many people dying around you, you're not going to think clearly. Except for Misaki and the main character, who throughout the episode remain oddly calm.
They do. But hold on. But first, remember the end of the last episode when Jock Kid comes in? He's
Yeah,
like, "I
come in.
think I effed up,"
Yeah,
in the dub anyway. And we
he
find out that him and another kid got in a fight, and pretty
he
much they
he was Glasses guy, the one that you shipped those two together. Well, no shipping them together anymore. Um, yeah, they got
and
into an argument. He didn't remember things from his childhood, which again, I'm gonna reiterate. The curse changes your memories. You would
so you should
remember.
almost remember it too clear.
Yeah,
And
I'm gonna.
it
He's
didn't really
pushing
specify in
back.
the it didn't really specify in the dub whether or not the glasses kid fell or was pushed by
He
Jock
doesn't.
Kid. But either
He
way,
literally states that they got into an argument. Something happened. Next thing he knows, he's on the ground.
yeah, it
the
doesn't specify whether or not. But you know what?
main character is just
Hey,
like, well, he's
Wendy,
probably not dead. They're
is
very
decent
calm.
audio coming through tinny for everybody else occasionally, or is that just me?
I don't know. You're getting a little robo for me,
Oops, sorry. But
but
yeah, pretty much. So anyone just ask me, like he had the opportunity. Koichi had the opportunity to turn around right there and be like, "Okay, I know this is chaos right now, but May, who's the dead kid? Like really, that
yeah.
dead
All right. Hey,
person, dead person.
let's. No, May has specifically stated person. I'm gonna keep saying
I
that.
know,
May
dead person, dead
keeps saying
person.
person. Everyone else says student. May says person, and I trust May as the lady who sees death, that it's not a student.
But there's so many opportunities. Like it's a little bit of a spoiler for the episode if you haven't seen it. Uh,
What do you mean? We're
he's
gonna
had
spoil
so many
every
opportunities.
episode.
No, I know. Like I'm getting a
Plot
little.
block. Yeah, plot
He's
block.
had
Plot
so
block.
many opportunities out this entire thing that he could have asked at any point. May like running down a hall. Hey, who's a dead person? Hey, who's the dead person? Could you tell me that who's the dead person again? He could have at any point, and he doesn't.
You know what's no? This is what freaks me out though. They're being told that, oh, yeah, I just killed my friend. I think he's dead. He fell and stuff. And they're just like, whoa, dude, chill, man. Like he only fell 2 stories. He's probably not dead.
Let's go check on him. Yeah, let's
They
go.
don't run. They don't run. Like, this is very important. They do not run. He fell from the second story. He fell onto the ground. He
Bleeding.
is literally
Confirmed
said
bleeding.
he saw blood coming from his head, and their response is,
Yeah,
no.
they
They're
kind
like,
of walk down into the foyer.
yeah, the foyer. They're just like, yeah, whatever, man. It's casual, dude. Whatever. Main character sees
And
like
then
the dining hall
like a
door.
jump scare moment. Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry. The dining
Yeah,
hall door's open,
and he
and
opens up the dining hall, and we find the male caretaker.
well, there's a kid that grabs on his ankle first.
Yeah,
This
and he's
kid's
like,
like
oh,
bleeding, and it's like
oh,
a bloody. It's a jump scare moment.
which again, kids bleeding
The
out and everything.
kid's all
Bloody as heck, and he's grabbing onto the main character's leg, and he's like, the dining hall," and the main character's just like, "Oh, well, that sure is golly gosh weird. What's going on in the dining hall? Like, there is
wow.
no rush for anything,
Yeah, and he just takes his time.
dude.
He takes
Like,
his time opening the door, even though this kid might be clinging on
like
his ankle.
Like, the main character could not give less of
bleeding
an
to death.
he could not care less. It's impossible. Dude is like, I don't know, man. Dude's acting like he smoked a big old bowl and he's just chill. He's just like, whoa, dude, calm down, man. It's gonna be
Yeah,
okay. Bleeding out, dude. It's chill.
I
It's what
can't even bother.
some edibles, dude. Take it.
He doesn't even bother to check on this kid to see if he's super badly injured. He doesn't scream for help. He's just like, I'm
No.
gonna open this door.
He sees the male caretaker has been stabbed a ridiculous number of times.
Yeah, just
Like,
ridiculous.
and then burned. The
The little
dining
old man
and his response to the old man being stabbed and the dining hall being on fire is, huh,
closes the door.
better,
That
better close that door.
I don't know.
Well,
Like
there's
I
a lot of
literally have in my notes chaos ensues because
my,
things
my
just
notes
get bad.
my notes are just like no rush and WTF.
Okay, so there's like everyone's trying to like figure stuff out. There's a missing fire alarm. It's broken. There's blood everywhere. Kids are missing. The tape recorder stolen.
They just
Chaos happens. Oh, the kid that fell is missing.
he's missing.
He's
Yeah,
gone.
he's they go out to look like through the rooms to try and find him, which again, no rush. They're just like, "Hey, you in here? Hey, the
And
building's
they
on fire.
also, yeah, they
Hey."
also decide that they're going to clear everybody out because the building is on fire.
I just need to I just need to get this out of me.
Excuse me.
Yeah, yeah. Come this side. Come this side. Come in. The building's on fire. You may. And they only told two kids. There's just like two of them.
One,
They're just like,
please.
hey guys, the
Yeah.
building's on fire. You guys might want to get out. And then they just leave, and the kids are just like, what? They say the building was on fire? Like the kids are confused because they're so calm about this. They're just what? Like if someone came into your room and was just like, "Hey, building's on fire," and
Yeah,
walked
they're
out,
like, Nani?
you'd be like, "Gomenasai, nani? What? Is should I be concerned? You're showing a very
Pardon me?
you're showing a severe lack of concern. Should I be concerned?" Uh, hey, everyone. The building is on fire. Just go ahead. It's all good. Building's on fire. You're in your own time.
Yeah, I agree. That was just a
Take your own time, man. Whatever. Pack your stuff. Don't pack your stuff. Leave. Don't leave. It's whatever. Because I'm telling you, man.
trying just to please. If you feel like it,
Yeah, main. Like I'm a
if you
pretty
feel like
chill.
way outside,
I'm pretty chill. Like
wanna
I think you guys.
anyway. And
I think you
as
guys have seen that. I'm pretty chill. You guys have seen me through the cast. I'm pretty chill. If a building is on fire, I'm not gonna be chill. I'm gonna be like, hey, guys, seriously, get your stuff. We need to go. The building is on fire. Let's get everybody out. We need to leave now. Don't don't run, don't rush, but get your stuff, move as quick as you can, be safe about it. Let's go. Not, hey guys, building's on fire. See ya. I'm
yeah,
out.
for real.
Just
And then they find out their teacher's missing, and there's just a bunch of blood.
There's a bunch of blood.
Somebody's like, "Let's call the police," and the other kid's like, "Nah, it's fine. Let's not do that."
Yeah, let's not call the police. No, we got to find the teacher first. And I was just like,
Yeah, no.
no,
And
no,
then as
you
they're
don't
looking for their
have
teacher
to.
now, they open up, and then there's the old woman caretaker covered in blood with a cleaver, and it's just not a good time. It's just not a good time.
Fistcake says, well, to be fair, in the anime dimension, a building fire is probably not even an emergency. Too many giant monsters and tiny powerful dudes fighting to care about fires. Yeah, exactly. There's a curse going on. Yeah, whatever. It's the world of anime. It's just
You're
a
not
building
wrong.
fire.
It's fine. It'll be
This,
fine.
too chill. They're too chill about it.
Yeah, pretty much. And so Koichi, Mei, and the classroom rep hear screams, and they want to go check it out, and they see the missing bloody girl gone crazy with a sword.
Yeah, her name. No, it's not a sword. It's a. I don't know what it is.
It was just like
It's like a letter. It looks
it's a
like
pokey stabby. It's a
yeah,
pokey stabby.
it looks
It's a
like
weapon.
it almost looks like a skewer, like you would use for like
It was
you
like
know
that thing, dude.
Yeah, but the like it's design. Like it's this long, it's flat,
And
it
it's
has
like
a weird flat end and it's a little twisted piece. I don't understand what it is. I don't know
it's a
what it
pokey
is.
stabby. A pokey stabby.
And
If you
literally
tried to cling
it's
to the fire,
Takako. Her name is Takako.
Takako. And that was like Class Rep's
Glasses
best
girl.
friend.
And
Yeah.
she's just like she's absolute insane. Like she
Oh
has
yeah.
full snapped.
And then it's
And she
kind of we kind of have two conflicts happening at the same time here. We
yeah.
have our boys with the cleaver lady. One of
We
them's with
have
his leg cut trying to
yeah,
escape, and
it's
then we have our Koichi
which
Mei and the classroom skep rep with
first off,
the crazy girl.
barely. He was barely cut and
Nicked. Nicked.
he was nicked and he's just like,
Oh,
down, man. I
oh.
can't move now. And he was nicked on the calf. It's like, dude, you were nicked on the calf. You can run. Dude,
His leg.
I've been
He's
cut by
gonna
a knife.
lose his leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Who
and
wants to die?
like Koichi tries to keep the crazy girl from attacking the class rep, but
Yeah,
I
and then
gotta say he's a champ because he takes a solid hit to the cojones, to the balls to hit, and he's just like it's
main,
nothing. He handles. He goes, oh, and he's fine.
let's just say main character gets messed up this episode. He takes it like a champ the whole time.
Yeah, he does.
And
But did
he's
you
not,
notice during this little scene, May does absolutely nothing,
yeah, she
nothing,
don't do nothing. And
nothing at
then
all.
but yeah, Miss Takako, she goes mad. She tries to turn everybody against Misaki. Like she even runs off and like goes to like the announcement room to play the tape, which went missing. She plays the
I
tape and is like, Misaki's the missing student.
one word
You're all Robo. What's going on?
the tape, and then she blames it on Misaki. One word in my notes, and it was just the explicit swear word that I'm not gonna say. But it's just like, well, damn. This are you with me? Am I with you?
No, you're not with me. You're back now.
Technical difficulties.
I told you
Sorry.
our co-host, our new co-host,
Yeah.
technical difficulties. But yeah, she turns everyone against May. They start running. Girl who lost her brother is like, "I'll avenge my brother." Comes at May with a knife. Main character, the polite phrasing for this will be uterus kick. But y'all know what he does.
Yeah.
It involves a strong knee to the crotch. And she goes down. Oof.
Yeah, I would
That's
too.
just revenge
I mean,
for what happened to him earlier. He's just taking
yeah.
it out on someone else.
He's like, I took it better than you.
So while
And
all this craziness is going on, we have to move forward with this. While all this craziness is going on, they're being chased, dudes being dragged, old crazy ladies still trying to kill those two. The main character's trying to get away. Girls chasing after him. It's raining. They go out a window. Oh, it's slippery. Girl who's like, oh, I'm gonna avenge my brother, tries to come after her. Boom, slip, fall, gone. Which
yeah.
she looks like she got friggin' what's it called? What's that called? The wrestling move. You grab someone, you bend back, boom. That's what she looks like she got. I can't remember what it's called. Suplexed.
Right.
She looks like
Thank
she
you.
got suplexed. Thank you. The German
Yeah.
suplex. And then two students are just like, the two kids who were told about the fire were just like, oh, he said there was something about a fire. There was a fire somewhere. Oh, look at these doors. He said the dining hall was on fire. I wonder what's behind the dining hall doors.
Let me just open these
Let me
doors.
just
Do you remember
open
back
these.
in elementary school where you're supposed to feel the handles? Is it
Yeah,
hot?
yeah.
Is it hot?
Is
Don't
the
touch.
is the door hot? You could just be like, that door feels warm. Or you know what else you could have done? Go outside and look through the window. Oh,
Huh.
yeah. Because here's the thing: if you guys know, heat creates sort of a vacuum. When you put fire in one spot, it creates a little vacuum because it's burning up all of the oxygen. So when you open to that fire, you allow an influx of air. Now, when you do that, the flame gets temporarily more aggressive. Why do I bring this up? It's because he throws open the doors. He throws open the doors. The room with the fire, he grabs the door handles, which should be burning his hands and give him physics doesn't apply to these animes this week. Both of them does not apply. But he throws it open and influx of air, whoa, boom, explosion.
Oh, he gets crucified.
He,
He is
looks,
roasty,
he
toasty
gets
princess.
roasted in an instant. And they're just like, huh, everyone is just like,
I guess
huh,
it really is a
that
fire.
was well, it's just everyone's response to it is just like, that was odd. Let's keep trying to kill May.
Yeah, pretty much. No one really cared. I guess he wasn't a popular student. I mean,
I guess. So
so and then they're
explosion
kind of
happens.
like
Crumbles part. May and main character running through the stairs,
they're
crumbling.
kind of cornered on a
They're
staircase
kind of
now.
cornered. Crazy girl shows up. She tries to go after May. She kicks the snot out of the main character and steps on his head.
He's down.
Like she kicks him. She stabs him in the arm. Kicks him down. Steps on his head. And I was like, man, come on.
And she's like, "Well, I'm not gonna kill you because class rep, I always forget her name, likes you. So
yeah, Akazawa likes you, so I'm gonna leave you alone."
Akazawa likes you, so I'm not gonna kill you.
And I was like,
and she's like stepping on Koichi's head. And mind you, May still does nothing. May does nothing.
She knows who the person is, and so this leads
she
to
does nothing. She could have done something.
An accident happens where she tries to stab May. She gets tripped up. She falls, gets stuck in some electrical wires, cables.
She Claytons herself.
Yeah.
For those of you that remember Disney's Tarzan, he's on the vines and he's chopping, and he gets the vines wrapped around his throat, and because of his own actions is the reason why he hanged. Well,
yeah, this is what happens to her.
herself.
Which this is the first time on screen that it's been very graphic and very long and very detailed as to what happens. Because she starts puking and spitting up, bile and things like that. That is
what happened when a human chokes and hangs like that.
Drops her whatever stabby thing.
Weapon.
And May picks it up. Class rep shows up, and for some reason assumes May killed her friend. Which, one, she's holding a stabby weapon, and she's clearly not stabbed. Clearly not stabbed.
And two, they could have saved her by taking the pressure off. And three, she's not dead yet. There's no broken spine. If they reasonable amount of time, they take her off of the wire, she could be revived. She is just passed out.
Can we just mention the body count this episode is really high?
Oh yeah,
it's really high. But so May's like, all right, if the dead person is sent back to death, then this will all end. And she runs off. Rubble falls down, so main character can't chase after her.
Can we just say when rubble starts shifting, then our crazy girl kind of like flops off the railing. That her body just no, she's dead now because that was like bone crunching body flop. You know, it was graphic. It was a good time. I enjoyed.
I like that they cut back.
I enjoyed it.
I like that they cut back to the kid in the car just to remind you that there's that kid with asthma, and then they never go back to him.
Yeah, just randomly.
Like 2 seconds.
He could still be alive. Watch, he's the extra, and they're gonna go save the extra's life. This is gonna keep going.
Oh man, I don't know. This is a weird episode. Hey, should we?
I don't know, but yeah, she just runs off.
Yeah, should we move on to Baccano?
She just runs off.
Yeah, because that's kind of where
Baccano.
Shane LaForette remains silent in the face of Shawnee. It's Chain. What is with these names? But Shawnee LaForette remains silent in the face of 2 mysterious people. So we're back to
this episode titles are like Panic at the Disco songs. Yeah. Like first album, Panic at the Disco songs.
I write love songs, not tragedies. 1930 again.
We're back to Firo's little inauguration thing.
Yeah, he's talking to Maiza about his immortality, like not his immortality, but like your wound healed awful fast. What's going on? And
we saw Firo's fingers heal though. Was that before? That must have been after this because The
know
finger
anymore.
from, like, the first or second episodes?
I
The
don't
finger?
know anymore. There's the
Is it
consistency with
Firo?
I don't
Is it Firo immortal?
know. I don't know anymore.
None of
Yes,
the
he's
answers.
immortal, but like I don't
But
know
why would he not
anymore.
know?
What is
But we
what is
do
the
know
time?
his buddy Mita has been since the very beginning, though. He's
Yeah,
not like an elixir boy. Or he was there since the very beginning.
but Firo had his hat, so maybe this is later. I don't know anymore. The
Maybe it's
timeline in
before.
Baccano
I
is
don't
like
know.
so messed. So we get he sees Enos and he's like, gotta go chase her. Excuse me,
He
bicep.
chases he chases her down, and she like tries to beat him up, and he's just dodging every punch and
And he's
everything
like,
like
no,
that.
whoa, chill. I'm just trying. He pins her down. It's like, I'm just trying to give you this back.
And he just gives her back the button. It's adorable.
Firo, good guy Firo, man. Good guy Firo.
Good guy, Firo.
Yeah, sure, he's in
I
the
know
mafia,
Colette
but
said Jacuzzi was best boy from this anime, but I'm leaning
that's
towards Firo,
Firo.
honestly.
Man,
It's
Firo.
Firo.
Firo's a badass. He just, no.
He's a good
Firo
guy.
was already no. Firo was already immortal because he took down Dallas before.
See? And that's with the fingers. You got the fingers
What?
in the alley.
My brain with this anime.
Maybe
Trying to
Firo,
remember
maybe
timelines.
Firo like knows, but he doesn't know that Mita knows about him, and so he's trying to pry for information by pretending that he doesn't know to see if Mita knows more than he does.
I don't know. So anyway, we go back to the black suits radioing to their leader that the the leader's like, yeah, Shauna's fighting with that dude, shoot them both.
Yeah, pretty
And then
much.
and then Lad is
Lad
Lad.
just pops out of the
Yeah,
ceiling,
pops out, kills a dude, threatens another guy, tells the guy to drop his gun. Guy runs off, and he's like, pansy, he
and
ran.
he's like, "Shawnee is amazing because it's the only fight I've ever had to run from. She
Yeah.
is divine. You guys are jerks for thinking about like trying to kill her."
Which
And
funny coming from Lad,
hey, Lad has his own thing he's got
which he
going
wants
on.
to kill
Okay.
her. You
I
guys are.
mean, he wants to kill his wife as well. So, I mean, is it that
Yeah.
surprising?
Well, Lad wants everyone to die. He wants to kill the
This is
world.
true.
You
And
know
then
that phrase, some men just want to watch the world burn? That's Lad.
yeah, this is true. He wants to kill everybody and then watch the world burn. But then we're back with
Yeah,
Ches.
I want to discuss my note for this scene though. Lad is Lad. Asks questions, is cocky, casual murder.
Casual murder. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Lad.
He
You know,
saved he,
asks
he saves
questions,
one
is
dude.
cocky, casual murder.
He saves one dude and he like interrogates him, and that's
So
like
then
the
we
best we
get
got.
Cheslaw,
Cheslem.
Cheslaw.
Cheslem.
Because
Well,
it's law, because it ends in law, because his name's like coleslaw. That's my
well,
joke.
in the dub it's Cheslem.
Yeah, it's
So,
literally in like the sub. It's like spelled like Cheslaw. So I call him
well, yeah,
coleslaw.
no,
But
it's
he meets Rail
spelled
Tracer.
weird, but it could be a Jewish name,
These
and
names make no sense.
Jewish
It's a
names are
name from
spelled
the
really weird.
1700s. That's what we found out. It's a name from the 1700s. So that's why it's all messed up.
Okay,
But he
but
meets Rail Tracer.
yeah, he wants to. He kind of had a moment where he thought about just leaving because this shit's getting real, but he's like, no, I want to find this other immortal.
Yeah,
So, and then he meets the rail tracer,
which
Vimo,
yeah,
Vem.
but we notice is very important. Cheslin is able to say, "My name is Thomas."
I think he said Benjamin in the dub, but
It's Thomas in the sub. But
either
it's very
way, he was
important.
able
He
to
is
lie
able
about
to
his
lie,
name.
which means the Rail Tracer is not immortal.
Is not an immortal. Exactly. That's the whole. But Vimo is just like, haha, that's not your name. Don't lie to me.
Yeah, I heard your name.
I know that's not it, you liar. And he also he says he's a rail tracer. He sits down by him, and they have like this little chalk talk because he knows that
A
Cheslin wants to kill
little.
people.
Yeah, and
And
then
then
we move to Nick
he's just like he
because
chokes him.
that's
He starts
well,
choking
he starts.
Ches.
We move to Nick, who's been captured by the black suits, who's talking about a monster, which then moves to the Rail Tracer going on top of the train to meet up with Shawnee, who
Okay,
is
there was
fighting
a
Lad
scene.
again.
It was one of these little scenes, and you see, like I thought it was Cheslin and Venmo, the rail tracer dude. I thought he was like digging Chez's fingers in the ground, but I think that was past because he might have had the conductor because you see
No,
like a little
no,
flash of that for a minute.
it was Cheslin. He
Was
took
it?
Cheslin's hand and he pushed it into the rails. Yeah,
I was hoping it wasn't Chez because you see it so quickly, and I'm like, that was Chez.
it
And
was.
then later,
Yeah, it was
when we
Ches.
see Chez again, I'm like, nah, it's not Chez. It's
No,
fine.
that's
Eh.
because even within the same year and the same timeline, the same day, this anime cannot do chronological order of events.
No, no, it can't.
So we got Lad goes and meets up with Shawnee again, who Shawnee got back on top of the car.
And he's like,
Which,
hey, I saw your buddies.
yeah, and
And
he's
he
just like,
tells,
"Who told me this? Harder." Yeah,
yeah, he tells her
casual.
that they're planning on killing
Yeah,
her. And he pulls up
casual.
a dead body.
Which
Yeah,
again, yeah,
and
which
uses
again,
it as a puppet.
my note is just Lad is Lad.
Yeah, but he also knows about immortals, and he knows
Immortals,
that they're
things like
gonna.
that,
Yeah,
and he
Lad
starts
decides he's gonna kill Huey. That's
now.
he wants to kill
Yeah. Now,
immortals now.
you'll notice Lad is taking the lead in this. He is beating Shawnee for the first time, and I notice it's because he's smart. He found her weakness to make her mentally unstable, and
Talking about Huey,
he started beating that weakness to get the
which
advantage.
we've already discussed her unhealthy obsession with her
Yeah,
father.
which I thought was really cool. Like, because normally if you see a turnaround like that in anime, you're like, well, how do they go from uh losing to winning? But what he did was smart. He was like,
Did
I
you also
can't.
notice he was like, "I'm gonna enjoy myself and have a good time," like, you
He
know
also
what I
said,
mean
I'm gonna
by
kill
air
them in front of
quotes?
you. Well,
No,
it's because
I
it's
mean
Lad.
in the dub it was implied a little bit,
They didn't
more.
imply that in the sub at all. In the sub, he
They
was like,
implied that,
I'm gonna kill him in front of you, and then I'm gonna kill you." That's literally
it
all it
was
was
implied.
implied. The
At least
dub
that's
went
how
with a different
I
direction
interpreted it.
than the
That's how
dub.
I
That's
he was
yeah.
just threatening all kinds of things to upset her. Like,
So
I don't
yeah,
know, maybe he's into that thing
but yeah,
that
Lad is
we're
smart,
yeah.
man. Lad's smart. Then we go. Misa meets up with Zillard because Zillard's
Mhm.
there and he's trying to get his stuff back.
Yep.
Um, which Firo is like, "Oh, what's going on in there?" And Anus is like, "Don't go. It's too dangerous."
Did you just call her anus?
Enos. Look, her name does not work either way. Anus, Enos. Unis Honest.
Ooh, this. That's like the second time we've referenced them this episode.
Do we remember?
But yeah, but they kind of have this little pissing contest too. Zillard
Yeah,
the,
and then a bunch of his friends are like, a bunch of Mesa's friends are like, "You're an enemy of Mesa." Blah, 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 blah.
yeah,
Shoot him
and
up.
it goes exactly how you think it
Yeah.
would.
Then we cut back to Rail Tracer meeting up with uh Shanae, who's been kicked off the train, stabs into the cart, pulls herself up. Rail Tracer's like, "Hey, one of your knives grazed my eye. That's not cool." Cutting up the conductor's
Yeah,
cart. "You should apologize." And she just stares at him. He's like, "Oh, what? You're not going to say anything?" And she just like points at her neck and shakes her head. And he's like, um, basically saying, "No, I cannot speak." And in the sub, Rail Tracer goes, "Oh, I said a bad thing. My apologies." And I was like,
yeah,
"Good guy, Rail Tracer." He's like, "Oh, she can't speak. I went too far. My apologies."
yeah. That yeah, because of her vow of silence, and then yeah, he's like, "Oh, go ahead, please continue, because I'm gonna kill which one of you wins."
Wins, yeah. Which I gotta admit, Rail Tracer's weird, man. Like he's weird. Like, oh,
Vimo, he has his own set of rules for his own. He does his own thing. He's kind of like, I want to say chaotic and neutral because like he likes death, but he's not exactly good or evil. He
no, but I gotta
plays
admit,
by his
man,
own rules.
even a crazy killer when he messes up, he apologizes. It's like, my bad, sorry. Yeah. My
Lad
bad.
wants to know who the heck he is, and he's just like, I don't have time for your BS. Like
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, I,
talking
I wanna
air, Lad refers.
I wanna first state physics does not apply on this train. Lad's ear is cut. The drop continues to go down. Uh, Shanae flips forward over the train. The train is moving this way. She flips following the train, which, judging by speed and everything, she should flip forward but go back because positioning.
Air
Uh,
drag.
Rail
Air.
Tracer gets kicked off the train, front flips, does a few flips, lands behind Lad. He should be 3 cars behind. Um, Physics does not apply on this train. Also,
Can we just
Lad
talk about how bad train fight is though?
No, it's
Like
amazing. I
Shawnee
love
at
the
one
train fight.
point throws a knife straight up at Vimo, Rail
Oh
Tracer,
yeah,
whatever his name is. He
no, it's
just
Lad who threw it.
catches it. He even or Lad does. Whoops,
Yeah,
my
Lad
notes
throws
are.
it. And he
But
just catches
anyway,
it.
and he goes, "Ooh," like you think he gets stabbed, but he actually catches it, and he goes, "That wasn't very nice either."
And
Like
he's all like, "You
that's
can't kill me.
rude.
I'm immortal. I can't be killed." Blah 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 blah.
And he
Which
just like dodges attacks like a boss. Like he flipped, as you said, he like
I
flips down on the side of the train and just yeah.
yeah, I want to state my notes here. Lad versus Rail Tracer, pot versus kettle, unmovable object versus unstoppable force. Cause my god,
Pretty
they get
much.
nose to nose, and it's just arrogance meets arrogance.
Killing love for killing meets love for killing, man.
Yeah,
It's a
there. That was an enjoyable confrontation though. Two
well,
big personalities.
why they're having this little
We cut back to Firo.
having this little fight. Well, they also had talk like they and it seems that Vito was like he heard like the plans about the he sides with
You're Robo and
Shawnee.
Arthur now.
Sorry.
Yeah, he sides with Shawnee and he's like, I'm gonna help you out. But
Yeah.
like,
And
but we
they try
cut
to talk
to
about mercy. And he says that the world is his and he will never die.
yeah, which he's not immortal. We already know this. But he might be
No.
half immortal. Like he might not be like who knows with
He
like
could also be psychotic.
yeah, exactly. But let's just admit Firo be flirting hard.
Oh
That
yeah.
man,
He
you're
with
too
what's her
beautiful.
name? What's her
Uh,
name?
Enos.
Good
Her
job.
name is
Good job.
Enos. Enos.
And
No
yeah,
P.
he's flirting and but then he like
Flirt.
sees
You're too
Zillow.
beautiful to be his daughter.
Yeah, he's really trying.
Man, I was
And
like,
honestly, I hope I dig it. I could ship
I'm down
the
for it. I'm
homunculi
down for Firo.
girl, but
Yeah, she
yeah,
needs loving.
she does.
Humuncul
She's a decent
artificial
being.
people are people too.
She's a decent being. She needs love too. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a
But
weird
so
discussion though. He can separate his immortal cells from my female cells, and I was just like, what? What is the science that he used?
yeah.
What is
But you
how
also gonna hear that Mitza and Zillard are still talking about the perfect formula and how they want the
perfect
perfect one.
formula?
And
They want the perfect one. He doesn't care about
yeah,
capturing Miza at this point. He has the bottles, which we find that the box with the bottles is empty, which I'm pretty sure at this point we know Isaac and Mira drank them. Or
I hope so.
Isaac and Mira used those bottles for everyone that was drinking.
Now here's the question: is that would you need to drink an entire bottle or just a sip to get the effect?
uh,
Drink those
they
entire bottles by themselves.
well,
Would it
if you
make them
remember, they had
more?
the big bowl and they all only took one drink, so it's like
Yeah,
one drink will do it.
yeah, you're right.
But
But yeah,
yeah,
she Ennis admits to Firo that she's not
yeah, she's
a
a
human,
homunculus.
she's a man-made
She's an
person. She's a
artificial
human.
human. And that seems blah da 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 da. Rail
And
Tracer and
Zillard
Tesla again.
can kill her to thought, though. That's
Yeah,
what she says. I don't
I
know if
think
that's
that
true.
that cuts back to the whole like put his hand on her and think eat. I think that's what that's about.
Probably.
But we get Rail Tracer talking torture to Cheslin, and Cheslin's like, I've been thrown in a fire, alive. I've been like all of this torture from someone I thought was a friend, which we see the long-haired dude from the 1700s who
Yeah, we see
apparently wanted to test how immortal is immortal.
and tested it on poor Ches,
Well,
who was a child back then. Like Chez's mental acuity now is far
he's
after living that long.
mentally he's over 200, but physically he's like 10,
Yes.
and he has
But he
been
was back then. He was still like 10, and that was all those things that did to him.
and then the Rail Tracer is like, oh, you may think you're used to pain, but you haven't
Yeah,
experienced all the ways to suffer yet. Allow me
and
to
he wants
show
to
you them.
he wants to torture him over and over and over and over again
To
until he
show him
wishes
all of
he
the
was dead.
ways. Yeah, he wants until he wishes away his own immortality. Like his whole
And
goal is
then what does that do?
yeah, bites his fingers off. Yeah, twice.
Just keeps
Yeah,
biting fingers. No,
and then we get to the
no, doesn't the white
white suits who are Tommy gunning it up, get knocked out by Dawn, one punched, Angel's
Yeah,
gone.
Jacuzzi too. Jacuzzi's good boy. He's helping.
Jacuzzi,
I'm
no, well, Jacuzzi didn't do anything. He
Am I
just picked the
back?
gun up. He just,
Hello,
yeah,
hello.
Jacuzzi
Am
just picks the gun up and he's like, "We're taking over this train. You all better follow our orders or else." And Don's just
Pretty
like,
much.
"That was a little excessive."
And but then we go to 1932 with Eve and the
Elizabeth,
Runaratas. And
Elizabeth, yeah, Don Runarada himself shows up.
and Elizabeth. Yeah. And they're offering for the Gandors to join the Ruderatas, and they're like, "Yeah,
They're
no
like,
thanks."
"Nah."
Dallas. And they also declined giving him Dallas. And then the Ruderata, I will have Dallas. Like, now I have to demand it.
Yeah, and
I
he's
try
like,
working.
"Where? Tell me where Dallas is." And the Runaradas kind of look over at Elizabeth, and then it's just like, bum bum ba plop plop.
Yep, plot block, major plot block, and that's the end of the episode. So,
Yes. S- By
so
the way, you guys,
can I
before
complain now?
before you complain, I should tell you guys that if you want to join us for Anime Club, it's on Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can join us by joining the Anime Club voice channel in the server, hosted by Yojak. Along with the Anime Club episodes, Yojak hosts a different anime movie every week. This week's movie was colorful. Next week's movie, let me pull it up for you real quick. I had it, then I lost it. I am sorry about that. But next
Dylan,
week's movie is Pom Poko.
last
Expected.
episode one, guys. You
Yes, it's the
definitely
last.
got to join us.
Next week is the last episode of season one. If you guys want to see
And
Pom Poko, it's this upcoming Friday. Expected start time is 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Everyone in the Discord is welcome to join. We hope to see you there.
Discord is still currently closed to Patreon open, only for season one or season 0, but season
Season
one
zero.
will open up the Discord for everybody. So if you can't
Hope to
see
see you guys
the
there.
update, that's fine. Join us when it's open for everybody, please.
Yes. So
All
yes,
right.
yeah,
So
you can
I'm closing. I need a good
give
sniff
us
of
a
my
little,
banana.
give us a quick closing.
I will be quick about this one. At least describing the movie because I want to save my energy for complaining about the movie. The movie with you kind of from a point of view as a spirit in the land of the dead. You find out that this spirit did something and gets to have a chance to go back and redeem itself through life. And it has 6 months to do so. The spirit gets a little guide. It looks like a little boy. His name is Pura Pura. And you go back to this boy who just recently committed suicide. Now, he's a junior high school boy, so he's not that old. I do not know the age range of junior high school boy.
It's like 15,
15. My thought was 13 to
14.
6,
It's like 13 to 15 is junior
but
high.
he was like at the end of junior high because he was looking for senior high school.
Yeah,
So probably 15, yeah, right in that age group.
yeah.
You find this soul was originally offered to it like a choice, like, hey, you can do this. Nah, I don't want to. And the guide's like, too bad. The big man upstairs says you have to. And so he gets pushed back into this body. The family's around him crying. Wakes up. Hey, look, I'm alive. And then you go through this movie, and just the thing that the animation's done well. The movie is written well. But honestly, I really, really disliked it for the premise, and I'll get to that in a minute. You go through the movie, and this soul that is inside of this kid's body is just trying to figure out what he's doing, where he is in life, what was this other kid doing that he's now in the body of. And his family, I have to say, his family is the most patient and sweet at this point in the movie before you know everything that happened. Like, people ever. His mom cooks home cooked meals every night. She's super attentive, super loving. Brother, even though there's some tension in the relationship, the brother's still there. The brother's trying. The father's there. As it goes on, you've learned that the father, who was a salary worker, he worked long hours, stayed away for long periods of time, like fell asleep in his office, like you talked about earlier about the ethic of the
Hmm.
men in Japan. And
Yeah,
the mother was home alone by herself. She was having an affair with her flamenco. It said flamenco. I think they meant flamingo instructor.
probably.
And you don't really learn about a lot about the older brother in that sense, but and then you find out that this kid was incredibly picked on, abused,
Yeah,
physically,
bad
mentally
family life.
abused at
Yeah,
school.
bad family life, bad school life. It's no wonder he did what he did.
Oh, and he
It's
had
really
mental illness. For
that.
anyone
Yeah.
who's wondering, healthy people, mentally healthy people do not just go, "I think I'll kill myself today," and I'm sorry for saying it like that, but it's
Oh no,
true.
I understand. As like I said, I do suffer from major depressive disorder, so no, I fully understand what you mean. Yeah, it is.
And
It's not a good thing. It
what
sucks.
they don't go back enough into his backstory to what real like if his parents saw, if his parents tried to help. There is no mention at any point in this movie that
I
it was a mental illness and he needed mental help. Not even
Yeah,
after waking up in the hospital from his attempted overdose. He took his mom's sleeping pills.
yeah. Oh, YouTube is not gonna like this topic. Um,
Sorry.
no, it's fine. Yeah.
Sorry. They didn't even try to mention getting him mental help then. No
Well,
counselors.
I mean, if you think
Nothing.
about it, if you think
Just let
about it, dad's never home and mom's having an affair. There's no one to talk.
No, but see, mom stopped the affair as soon as the attempt happened. Dad started coming home. Every night they were now having family dinners. Everyone was trying to rebuild this family and trying to be there for this kid. But the soul that inhabited this kid's body is a jerk. He mentally abused his mother. Just utterly emotionally destroyed her. Like, why are you going to keep pretending that you're a good mom? And then he didn't really do anything to his father. Like his father made many overtures. Hey, let's go fishing. Let's do this. And he just kind of he went, but he wasn't really participating. And then
Eh.
you get where he got beat up because he ran away and was being emotional. And he got his shoes stolen. And then he was at home, and there was only one student from his class that came to visit him. He almost forces himself on her. One student
Well,
that came to visit him.
you put you put the soul of a person that did a bad thing, and then yeah. Yeah, Japan though mental illness isn't well understood. That's very true, Jays. It's the culture of Japan versus America is very different, especially when dealing with mental illness. I will admit that even now, mental illness is still not fully a mainstream thing, still not fully talked about. But that's
Yeah,
if you like the main character
that's what
before he
I'm
has
talking
his soul
about,
put in there.
honestly.
Yeah,
Because
if you can get help,
if you
don't be afraid
need
to
to
speak out.
that's why I'm angry about this movie is that it eventually I'm gonna hurry it up. No, I know no one wants to hear me talk about this forever. But and then you find out that everybody in his family was trying to sacrifice so he could go to a good art school and all this other kind of stuff, and he
Yeah,
refuses. And oh look, he makes a friend, and that's great and all. But this person is a real piece of work. Like whoever's soul that was I watched the movie, I know, but I'll get to that, was put into this guy's body.
exactly.
He was selfish and a jerk and all this kind of stuff. And then you get further and closer to the end, he's getting less help from his guide. He's more figuring things out on his own. And oh, he is his crush, by the way. He stalked her and like tried to kidnap her, find out that she was a working girl because she has expensive tastes. And then she's like, "Oh, I will help you out. We can go to the hotel instead. Only 20,000." Yeah. So,
Only
I mean,
200. No, it's only $20. That'd be like $20. That's
and
pretty
she
cheap.
goes, I'll do a deal with you." And he's just crushed. But at the same time, you stalked her. You already knew she was doing these things. Like
Yeah,
that she's in Japan, that's her age is legal.
yeah. It's
It
like
depends in
16.
the areas. But
It's like 16.
obviously she was in public areas with an older gentleman.
Uh,
It's
uh,
legal.
Otaku Empire, talking about your feelings is generally considered wrong in Japan, broad sense. It's usually reserved. Family issues are reserved for home. You don't talk about anything personal really outside of the home. But of course, this kid's family life, no one was there, so obviously he didn't really have anyone to talk to at home either. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
the general consensus: is there's the personal life. The personal life is to be kept personal, and then there's the public life. The public life is
Okay.
public. The personal life is personal. That's
I now will
Japan.
be talking about the end of the movie, the big reveal. So if you don't want to hear it, mute me for a minute and I'll give a thumbs up when I'm done. I will be quick. I promise. I'm going to start now. So mute me if you don't want to hear, if you want to watch the movie
That's
yourself.
fine.
He gets to the 6 months have passed. He gets to the top of the roof. He sees it spirit guide, and his spirit guide's like, "Well, who were you? What did you do?" He says, "I am actually this kid's soul, and I killed myself." And he was his own soul. And him and Pura Pura, which is his guide, and the big guy upstairs it was almost like punishing him or teaching him a lesson for trying to be depressed and having a mental illness. And that is what made me as angry
God,
as it.
God forbid you had a horrible, horrible, horrible life. You
Yes.
evil person.
My phone has no internet, so you have to keep an eye on the comments for me, DC.
I'm watching. Don't
But
worry.
my phone, I don't know what it's doing. But that's pretty much what you find out, and you find out that Pura Pura, because the soul, the spirit, the kid, the whole time's like, "What are you? Are you an angel?" Pura Pura, his little guy, looks like a little silver-haired boy. He goes, "No, I was another soul, but I couldn't reform. The same thing happened to me, and I couldn't reform. So this is
Exactly.
my
Jason
job
Otaku.
now, is I have to try to reform others." And it's kind of made me feel like he was being punished himself because he could not reform. He could not find happiness like he did. And garbage. I mean, if they different manner, because the main thing of the movie was have things you can find a reason to keep going and push, but they didn't do it in a way that was right. It was just like, "Oh, the big guy upstairs, get your your religion should have no part in mental illnesses." Okay, there's a line.
I mean, I
And
understand they needed to do it for this movie specifically because if you want to have a soul coming back to do that, you need to have the spirits and well, and plus, Japan is very spiritual. Not just like it's not usually Christian beliefs. There's a lot of
maybe it was
Shintoism,
just the
Buddhism,
dub, the way they
Taoism,
said it was
Taoism.
like the big guy
Yeah, well, that's
upstairs.
because that's probably just the dub. But usually they just refer to it as a god or kami-sama, and they move on. But like, if you know anything about Shintoism, like they have like their own version of the All Father. That's Izanagi, but usually they just have vague, mysterious uh, creator guy. They don't really pick
Yeah.
religion. They just have vague, mysterious creator guy. But it's like Chase. Chase said, we're viewing this from the lens of the Western world, and Otaku Empire says, like, correct. We have our own personal bias regarding our upbringing. Yeah, we are talking about this from the perspective of people who grew up in America. We have a very different view of mental illness in our own country. Japan has its own view of mental illness. My personal feelings is that there are definitely things that we still need to work on regarding mental illness. This is coming from someone who goes through it. I know people who go through it. I have a friend who's dealing with bipolar disorder. I have a friend who, like me, is going through a very deep depression. There's a lot of stigma that comes with it, and Japan with this movie they're further behind with mental illness in comparatively if you want to talk comparing cultures. So just remember that this is the lens of their culture and their view on it.
I mean,
Just
I understand that, but still at
yeah,
the same
I'm just saying to the
time,
viewers to remember.
yeah, I mean, I get it, and I should not have been upset as I was. It is A, just a movie, and B, I mean, it did try to have that lesson
Yeah,
behind it, but they just took it in the wrong way. It wasn't
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Well, if you
The,
need help, you get help. There's still reasons to carry on." Like, yeah,
the
but at the same time, they went, "You're gonna be punished."
the heart is there, but the follow through stumbles about. That's kind
Yeah.
of what it is.
Yeah, and as I said, I'm mad at the movie that it was as good as it was. Normally, movies
Yeah,
like that, I would have a hard time watching. I would zone out, play on my phone, have to rewatch. I watched
yeah.
the whole thing. It was written well, the animation was good, and I still just like,
Yeah,
mm,
I like I said, the only reason I didn't watch it
mm.
is I've made my own attempts on my life, and so I didn't want to relive that this week. Not going through a great place, so I didn't watch it just for that reason. But um, don't let that stop you from enjoying it. I do believe I do believe in exposing myself to that sort of media because I am working through it. I'm working past it, and it's just this week I've had a bad week. Normally I would
Just so you
watch it.
guys know, I did talk to DC about this. I'm not just
Yes.
this mean
No,
person that's like,
no,
I'm
we
just gonna talk about this and be
yeah,
completely
Angels
desensitized to his
Angels
needs.
was
No.
Angels was just like, "No, is this cool? Is this chill?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude, don't worry about it. I'm
I was like,
perfectly
"Are you
willing
sure?
to
Because
talk
I
about
am
it."
gonna talk about it. I'm gonna say
Yeah,
those words. Oh, by the way,
um,
I'm done spoiling things for anyone. Sorry."
yeah. For people though that don't know, I am pretty much a champion of mental health. Uh, I very much am a proponent for talking, for getting aid if you need it. There's many ways to get aid. Never be afraid to find those outlets and those ways, man. Never be afraid. The first step to recovery is always making an effort.
Don't be
Uh,
afraid to ask.
yeah, man. I was 21 when I like
No one has to fight alone.
yeah I was 21 when I made my first step, and some stuff happened. My life went in a very bad way, but afterwards I have really been making major progress in my own self to try and change myself for the better, to try and get past it, to try and heal. You know, uh,
Good job.
don't be
Good job,
afraid.
DC.
Don't be afraid to make those steps. Don't be afraid to
And
reach
it's
out to
not
people.
easy. It's not
It's not.
easy.
It is a rough road. I mean, heck, man, we lost a lot of people. We lost a lot of good people. Uh, don't be afraid, man. It affects everybody. Don't be afraid. That's all I'm gonna say.
Don't be afraid to reach out.
We love you guys.
And if you guys are struggling, and I know it sounds really weird for me personally, sometimes it's easier to talk to a stranger.
Yeah,
Find
man.
me on one of my platforms. If you feel like you could talk to no one else, find me and talk to me. I will talk to you. I'm not a licensed therapist. I'm not anything special, but
Nah,
I'm
I'm,
somebody
I'm not. Yeah,
that
I'm not a
cares.
therapist. Don't take my advice. Uh, like I said,
I
I've
am
sought
somebody
therapy
that
though.
cares though.
Yeah,
Okay?
man.
I'm
I
somebody that
can't.
cares.
Man, therapy helps, dude. It's my own
Happier
personal opinion.
things. Yeah,
Happier things
therapy's the
is
best bet.
we
But
are we're all.
sometimes
Yeah. Thank you guys for the hearts in chat.
sometimes
Thank you
that's we
guys.
can't always do that.
I appreciate
Yeah.
it. I
Good
appreciate
job,
the love.
guys.
I've taken this week.
We're
Uh,
family and we need to work together. But happier news, Empire news. We
yeah, let's
still
talk
need an
about that.
Overwatch manager.
Come on, man, join
We
us.
still do.
Join us. It's fun.
You
It's
you
fun.
play Overwatch, you know somebody who does,
Manage.
send them our way. We need an Overwatch manager. Have a good time, do some gaming, and then can I patiently this whole episode. Can you
Hit
guys
us
hear
with
me?
it.
Am I here?
Yeah, hit us with it.
Okay.
Let's.
I was hit up on one of my personal, not even on one of my Facebook pages, social accounts, by somebody I knew personally who drew fan art for me. This is my fan art that Pastel Ghost Boy on Instagram drew for me, and thank you so much. I love it so much, and I did get his permission to post it up here and tell everybody to go check out his Instagram, check out his art, look at it, look at it, look at it.
Man,
It's
spread those
amazing.
positive vibes, my dudes.
It's the first fan art anyone's ever made of me, and I'm just like, maybe
Yeah,
I
be
am
ecstatic. Be ecstatic. That's the
I know,
important thing, man. Enjoying
for sure.
enjoying those little things in life, man.
If you guys got
It's
some fan art or something like that, even some memes, hey, hit us up. Find us on our social medias, and if we like it, we'll throw it into chat, just into cast, just like this. We
yeah,
appreciate
man.
you guys
We
watching.
love it.
We
We love it.
appreciate you.
We do appreciate it. We thank you guys. Thank you. We're here for you guys.
Thank you so
Hope you guys
much.
enjoy this. Thank you guys for being here.
Remember, if you need help, get it. If you need a hug, get one. And have a good time. Watch anime. Make memories
Yeah,
with your family.
memories, dude. We talked about good memories, man. That's
We
what it's all
did.
about. Let's make some good memories together.
You guys will have to come back next week, which is our last episode of season 0. Because once
Last
season
episode of
0,
season 0, dude. It's
it's
gone.
going, it's locked
It's
away for
like
Patreons
Unis
only.
honest. Like Unis honest. It's gone.
Gone. So
Thank you
thanks
guys.
everybody for watching. Thanks so much. DC, take us out. I always take us out. You take us out this time.
Thank you guys. If you got any fan art, send it to us. Let's check you out. See you guys later. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.